There is so much NFL on ESPN right now. Monday Night Football, plus pregame and postgame. NFL Live, NFL Primetime. Everything you need to stay on top of every game, every week.
Unbelievable.
And now NFL Network is on the ESPN app. More football, more coverage, more ways to watch. Football's on all season long on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app.
Latte for Keenan?
That's me.
Hey, you're...
Yeah.
Buying a car online on AutoTrader?
Really? But unlike other sites, you can start online, test drive with a local dealer, then finish online or at the dealership.
Really? Wait, are you...
Yep, it's key.
Able to finish in person without starting the process over?
Really. Your info stays with you every step of the way.
Cool. Enjoy.
It's Keenan Thompson. Buy your car online on AutoTrader. Really.
This episode is brought to you by Tic Tac. Lace up and get your game on because the Tic Tac lineup just got a new teammate. Dr. Pepper Tic Tac. This new double threat puts two of your favorite flavors into one box of mints. And when two iconic flavors come together, the result can only be iconic. Score big. Try Dr. Pepper Tic Tac today.
Well, hello and welcome to Bingewatch, the podcast where we take a look at the hottest new TV and film releases on streaming television platforms. I'm Hannah Fernando, the editor-in-chief of Woman and Woman at Home magazine.
And I'm Ian McEwen, writer on TV and Streaming Week, TV Times and What's on TV magazines. And today we're looking at the new releases that will be available on Friday the 28th of August 2026, including footballer turned racehorse trainer Michael Owen's new reality TV series on Prime Video, and bittersweet Aussie dog-walking comedy drama Dog Park on You.
And we'll also be checking out season 2 of Sci-Fi Dark Matter on Apple TV and a new adaptation of John Grisham's legal drama The Rainmaker on ITVX.
We're going to start on ITV1 and ITVX with a new drama series called The Rainmaker, and here's a clip.
We do not surrender at this firm. You look like you have an opinion. I got fired.
Why can't you back away from a fight?
I screwed up. It's over.
I do know a law firm looking to hire. You know, it used to be a taco hut.
You don't say.
So this sounds familiar? Well, yes, there's a good reason, because it's based on a John Grisham novel, which almost 30 years ago was turned into a film starring Matt Damon, and by lucky coincidence, that has just landed on Netflix. So yes, you can take a look at that to compare and contrast if you like. It's a 10-part series here, and it's a British actor in the lead, Milo Callaghan, and he is playing a hotshot young lawyer called Rudy Baylor. Now, one of the various ways in which it diverges from the film is that Rudy starts at a prestigious South Carolina law firm, but he is he's fired on his first day. I must admit, when I started watching it, it starts with him at home having an exchange with his mother, who has kind of invited her boyfriend to live with her, and he's not a very nice piece of work. I initially thought I wasn't going to like it. And yes, so Rudy, he's been studying at law school, working in a bar, and he has a girlfriend who's kind of a trustafarian, really. She's very wealthy, but she also got taken on by this prestigious law firm, but she didn't get fired. So yeah, he's in a bit of a jam because he had a dust up with his mum's boyfriend, and he's had to move out of the family home. And so he ends up working for this sort of small-time personal injury firm run by Jocelyn Bruiser Stone, played by Lana Parrilla. and their office is it's in a building that used to be a sort of taco restaurant. They've still got the same furniture, which is quite amusing. So yeah, interestingly, in the film version, well, Mickey Rourke played Bruiser, and his assistant, who hadn't passed the bar exam, was played by Danny DeVito. Yeah, so, Damon, Rourke, DeVito. That's a pretty hard act to follow, I would say. What this has especially got going for it is that John Slattery of Mad Men fame, he plays the head of this law firm that our man got fired from. And yeah, he is great at playing this kind of role. The guy is just, he's a force of nature, really. He comes in, he lays it out on the line for his new recruits. He doesn't suffer fools. Yeah, he's very confident. He's very horrible. And Slasher is great at doing that kind of role. He's just fantastic. And actually, I think I would have liked to see a series about Slashery's character and his law firm, because that would be really good. Anyway, yeah, despite thinking initially that it wasn't really for me, funnily enough, I've been also rewatching The Firm with Tom Cruise, which is another John Grisham film, which is available on Netflix. So they tend to be about like hotshot young lawyers, blah, blah, blah. You get the drift. But yeah, I actually thought this was pretty good. I enjoyed it. What did you think, Hannah?
It's interesting, isn't it, the Rainmaker? I always get a little bit worried, concerned, is that the right word for words? Because when you're remaking something and you like the original, will it live up to it? Will it not? Paddington's a really good example. Paddington was brilliant. Second one was great. Third one, not so great. Maybe to me, anyway. But it's just really hard, isn't it, when something's so good the first time round? So it kind of worried me. So that 30 years on, after Matt Damon starred in it, John Grisham's novel has had a complete makeover with this. A 10-part TV series. I suppose that's is quite snackable in some ways, although you probably will try and binge watch this when you get going with it. I've liked what I've seen. I do like what I've seen so far. It feels, obviously, this many years on, it just feels that bit more modern. And perhaps that is the success story here. It is the fact that it's clearly more modern technology. It feels more credible and authentic in places, I guess, because technology has moved on so much. And I like the dynamics here. It's quite pacey in places. Not something that I would sort of necessarily think, I've got to watch this. But having sat down and watched part of this, I think you'll enjoy it.
Over on Prime Video, yes, it's another reality show about a sports star. Thank goodness. Meet the Owens. And here's a clip.
Football was my life, but now here's horse racing.
Go on, keep going, keep going, keep going. Here, we're going to win it on the net. No, we're not.
How many horses have you got? About 140.
Oh, my God.
That business has to stand on its own 2 feet.
Boom. We could lose £1 million this year.
All of us are really passionate about horses.
No farting.
Dad wants me to become a jockey.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We've got one chance at this. Let's not f*** it up.
Ian, we both enjoy things like this, don't we? Documentaries like this. This is a kind of a fly on the wall, I suppose. Highly edited, of course. We know that. Nothing new there when celebrity sports people, are in the limelight like this, and they choose what we see. I appreciate all of that. But as we know, with lots of these kind of reality TV shows and also these fly on the wall documentaries, I think a lot of them say you kind of forget the camera's there. So quite often you do get a glimpse into a world that you wouldn't necessarily see behind the curtain of. So you don't have to love football. You don't have to know loads about Michael Owen. You just kind of got to be interested in watching another family. It's the rubbernecking nosiness part of you that will make you want to watch this. And Michael Owen, of course, well, he seems like a very likeable person. So him and his daughter Gemma, they are the ones that are kind of like the spearheading this, if you like. They're fronting this, and they've let the cameras into their family home because he was a brilliant, exceptional footballer, now is part of a racehorse training business, a multi-million-pound racehorse training business. And you learn so much. I did not know that this is what he was doing, and it's incredibly interesting. I think what's nice about this is there's something for everybody. Because on the one hand, if you do like Michael Owen, you'll remember him as that teen sensation, won't you? Burst onto the scene playing for Liverpool, I think in the late 90s. And then for those of you who don't know him, you're kind of pushed into another world to see how someone rich and famous is spending their money, I suppose. So he's changed, he's making a name for himself in this completely different sport, horse racing. He's a proud owner of Manor House stables in Cheshire, and most people will know that horses are money pits, aren't they? I mean, they are so expensive. You've got to have a lot of dosh in the bank to be able to do something like this. Now, his oldest daughter, Gemma, I mentioned earlier, she's an international dressage rider, and she's kind of become a celebrity in her own right because she starred on Love Island. You can see where this is going. They are made for the cameras, aren't they, to be on camera. And this is a 6-part documentary. And it follows the family over a year. As I say, it's highly edited. Of course it is, but it does feel pretty authentic in places. And you do feel like you come away getting to know the family, particularly him, I'd say, really quite well. And it follows the family over a year as Michael tries to make this racehorse training facility one of the best in the business. And his daughter Gemma, she's kind of honing her TV presenting skills. She's training for these flat races. You've got his wife Louise, siblings James, Emily, and Jessica, and they're kind of negotiating and navigating the ups and downs of life at home. So it's kind of. I came away from this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really easy viewing. Yes, it's life for the rich and famous, and yes, could you call it a vanity project? Maybe, if you didn't have that money and he didn't know a huge amount about it, maybe. But he is so passionate about it. He completely believes in this, and you see his friends, other footballers, and just Wayne Rooney's on there talking about him, and it's really funny because there's sort of elements thinking, is this guy gone mad? What on earth is he thinking of? What is he doing? But it's very warm. They're very together as a family, it feels, and you just really want him and his daughter to succeed, really. And his love for the horses is lovely. There's some lovely footage of him sort of kissing the horse on the nose, and it's just really lovely. So I thoroughly recommend this one.
Well, the recent series about Jamie and Rebecca Vardy got absolutely slated, didn't it, by the critics. I'd say this has got a lot going for it. And Michael Owen, he is kind of aware, a bit like the snooker player Steve Davis was. He's aware that people, and he refers to the fact that people think that he's quite boring. And he's one of those people who says, you'll get my sense of humour eventually. And when anyone says that, you kind of think, you haven't got a sense of humour. But anyway, he comes across very well. He's a really nice family man. They seem like a great family and very close. But the interesting stuff is, we go to the races and we meet, the head trainer and, as well as following Michael. So his job is very much, he goes out, he buys yearlings, then he tries to sell them to his clients or to new clients, and then he's offering stabling and training. And, he's very ambitious. He wants to make this facility the best in the country. So, there's a lot to get your teeth into. I thought it was something a bit different. And, I really enjoyed it. And I really warmed to Michael and the whole family. Over on Apple TV, we have season 2 of the sci-fi Dark Matter. And here's a clip.
The box is the most powerful thing ever created. It's a gateway to other realities and other versions of us. I just want you and Charlie to be safe.
Even if we find a perfect world,
Another one of you will find us.
Can this be right? 13 Jason Dessons?
Well, there's quite a lot of multiverse action around at the moment, isn't there, Hannah? Especially in the Marvel universe. And we often say it, don't we? Returning series. Oh, do go back and watch season 1. Well, in this case, it is absolutely essential, because I attempted to watch episode 1 of the second season without watching season 1, and I was very, very confused. But it's good. It looks really good. So, yes, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the first season, you might want to skip ahead. But basically, it's all about this guy called Jason Dessen, played by Joel Edgerton, and he is married to Daniela, played by Jennifer Connelly, and they have a son called Charlie, played by Oakes Fegley. Okay. And he was working as a physics teacher, and although he's a bit frustrated about his career, he has a nice life with his family. But then his world is turned upside down, as they say, because he's basically kind of abducted. And long story short, it's all about parallel universes, and a version of him, let's call him Jason 2, has come from a parallel universe where he is very successful in his career, but he wants to come and replace Jason 1 and enjoy his happy life. Does that make sense? And basically there's this box, okay? You go into this box and there's this infinite corridor, and behind any door is a parallel universe, which, you will find yourself in. And what it's like sort of depends on your state of mind as you open the door. Anyway, I mean, it's very complicated. So you have to watch it. You can't just try for a quick recap. It's not going to make any sense. But yeah, so there was a lot of multiverse action in season 1, and season 2 starts, it's a great jumping off point, with the discovery of all these dead bodies, and they are all versions of Jason from different universes. Oh my goodness me. So yeah, it's and then yes, I was quite confused because I didn't really know where we were in the story, but as it continues, a version of Jason comes to visit Jason and his wife. Yeah, so you've got this issue that, in one universe there can only really be one Jason, because otherwise it's all going to go horrifically wrong. So I will go back to watch season 1 because I think it looks great. But it is a lot to get your head around. But yeah, exciting, different universes, different Jasons. What's not to like?
Yeah, Ian, you know how I feel about these sci-fi. I mean, Apple TV does put its best foot forward on pretty much everything. And so if you like sci-fi, this is one for you. It's a 10-part season, as you say. It's this sort of parallel world, being the only escape. I don't know. For me, although it's done very, very well, I just find the sort of lack of, and particularly like when you've been watching kind of what we've just been discussing, Michael Owen's documentary, and then you kind of go and have a look at something like this. Of course, it's something completely different. I get it, but I don't know. It's for me, it's not something that I particularly loved. Although I think I'm probably, if you are a sci-fi lover, you'll want to have something else to say to me. I suppose the bit of difference with this is that this is somebody who's just trying to live this really kind of simple, happy life. Jason's there with his wife, just trying to have sort of this normal life with their child, and he's working as a college physics teacher, and he's obviously completely unfulfilled in that role, and I suppose that's that's the bit that anchors it, I guess. And then he's robbed, he's drugged, and that whole kind of switching into another person. I don't know. It gets into your head. It's clever. It is clever, but it's not one for me.
Over on U&W and the streaming platform U, we have a new comedy drama which I think Bob will enjoy because it's called Dog Park. And here's a clip.
Hi, Roland.
Hello?
Samantha.
Oh.
You left it at your lead, so I just thought I'd drop it off.
Oh.
And then I thought, since I'm here, why don't I see if Beanie wants to come to the park?
Oh.
It's just Muppet and I. Me. Sorry. We. Anyway, us. We're going for the evening session, and...
No, thanks. No.
It's just you seem busy, and I'm free to take.
I am.
That's all.
Well spotted. Sorry.
Yes? So is that a... no?
I'm just trying to be nice.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
It does seem hard for you.
Yes, Dog Park. Now, it's a new comedy drama. It's got a few sort of, giggly moments. I don't think it's completely laugh out loud, or it's certainly, from what I've seen of it so far, it's not completely laugh out loud. But it's more of a tale about this guy called Roland. He's a careers officer. His wife has had to move away for work, and he's been left with his dog, Beatty, who's super cute. If you love a dog, you'll love Beatty. And he didn't want the pet in the first place, so his wife's gone off to this, this job she's got to do. He's been left with his teenage daughter, kind of like single hand parenting, and he's also got this pet he didn't really want in the first place. And he's a really grumpy guy. He sort of talks about later on, this kind of cloud that sort of followed him everywhere, and you can kind of see that he's just in a sort of a fog, and he's just not very happy. He's kind of having this kind of like a midlife crisis, I suppose, to a degree. His wife Emma's, as I say, she's in New Mexico pursuing this dream career, and his teenage daughter Mia, we've all got teenage daughters, and not only do they barely need us or think they barely need us anymore, they've also got a lot to say for it in the meantime. So it's pretty tough when it's two of you, let alone trying to navigate that on your own. And but you see this kind of, what do they say? It doesn't take a family, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it's kind of like that's what's happening here with the whole community, this very colourful neighbourhood of very eccentric dog owners. Now, if you're a dog owner, you'll understand that going down to the local park, you do meet some characters, some that you perhaps wish you hadn't, and some that are just really, really fun, and you have a chat with them and keep on going. And he meets this eccentric lots of dog owner because at the local park, and they make cake for their dog, that kind of thing. It's this sort of that sort of group of people, and they're known as the Dog Park Divas, and they're trying to, and I suppose this is the story, they try and break through Roland's kind of, it's an emotional armor, really. He's very, very, he's low, he's unhappy, you don't see him feeling or seeing, he doesn't have any joy, I suppose, and they kind of gradually wear away at him, and even when he's quite tricksy and difficult or not particularly engaged, they don't let it stop them from trying to get the best of him, and I think that's the nice part of this. That there are some really fun things going on there. There's this eternal optimist, Samantha. She's got this lovely Australian shepherd, and she won't take no for an answer. She just keeps popping up. It's like she just knows he needs help, and eventually that armor that he's built around him, it starts to ebb away. There are lots of funny bits in this. If you like dogs, it's totally for you, because it's just absolutely gorgeous. But it's just nice seeing a guy who is obviously really, really low suddenly becoming part of something that he really loves, particularly given that he didn't really want a pet in the first place. So this is good fun, light viewing and good fun.
An Aussie comedy about a dog and its owners, or should I say pet parents. Well, big paw prints to fill, because of course we've already had Colin from Accounts, which we both love, don't we, Hannah? So I wondered how this was measure up, but I think it's very good, I must say. And Leon Ford, who plays Roland, is the writer and co-creator. I think it's very much his baby. And it's quite bold, because he is he's a very unsympathetic character, really. Certainly initially, he's a real misanthrope. He's miserable. Although, worryingly, the kind of things that wind him up, we see a lot of short sequences where, I don't know, he could be waiting in a queue at the supermarket, or there could be a colleague at work who's doing something on the lunch break which is annoying him, and I was kind of thinking, yeah, these things are really annoying. He also drinks a lot. So yeah, he's kind of hard to love, really. And he does neglect the dog to some extent. So yeah, I think in that regard, it's great in that it centres around this character who really has, certainly initially, hardly any redeeming features. And yeah, he's a careers advisor, not a very good one by the looks of things. And yeah, his relationship with his wife just seems to be falling apart. But it's quite underplayed that. It's like they have these really awkward phone calls and disagreements, and yeah, you kind of imagine that like they're heading for divorce, really. But anyway, no doubt this will all pan out in the fullness of time. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. But it's not a laugh a minute. It's actually, there's quite a lot of sadness in there. But it's a really good watch, and it just really feels original, and it very much has its own voice and its own tone. So yes, recommended to dog owners and everyone else. Well, we've got to that time, young Hannah Maladio, where we find out what the hell you've been binge watching.
Well, I have been watching Clarkson's Farm with some friends this weekend, and people just could not stop talking about this series. And of course, we reviewed it on Bingewatch, didn't we, Ian? And it's a bit different, this one, because of course you get to see a bit of more of an emotional Jeremy Clarkson. You get to see maybe a bit more of the real him, I don't know, rather than the kind of like the sort of hard exterior that we've seen before. But I was unsure how it would go down with people, but actually seems to be going down really well. And I'm, as always, really enjoying it. What are you watching?
Well, let joy be unconfined, because, thank goodness, the Premier League is back. So yeah, I did splash out on a day pass on Now TV to watch a few games, and almost immediately that great sense of optimism and expectation that you have before a ball is kicked was smashed to pieces as Tottenham were thrashed by Brentford. Bring it on. Well, we've just got time to look ahead to next week's offering. So what is on the Binge Watch menu, Hannah?
Well, it's back, Grand Tour fans, because it's returning to Prime Video with 3 new presenters.
And Wham spend 10 days in China in a new BBC rockumentary. Looking forward to that. And much, much more. But in the meantime, dear listeners, keep watching.